I've flown this aircraft for many hours since the release date in May 2026, which is more than a month now, and I believe it's a good time to make a full review about it, going through the details as much as possible and also covering the cons and pros from my personal point of view, as well as going briefly through the bugs that were reported by other simmers to the developer. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. This is Mo and this is Mike Oscar. Here is the agenda of the content, and I will be mapping each point to a chapter of this video. I'd be really happy if you can watch the entire review, but if you don't have enough time, then of course feel free to jump directly to the point of interest. I will be covering as much details as possible, including a start from the cold and dark state. Before we get started, let me remind you to support me by subscribing to the channel, and if you find the content useful, then just like it, and let's get started. So this Piper M500 has been finally designed by X-Aerodynamics, replicating the real-life aircraft's aerodynamics, systems and appearance, and it's suitable for VFR flights, quick VFR flights at low altitudes, as well as high altitude IFR flights up to flight level 300, and it's really great for both hand flying and autopilot and instrument flying, and I've been enjoying hand flying this aircraft. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and the aerodynamics have been accurately simulated in this add-on aircraft, and it has been developed by X-Aerodynamics. If you're not familiar with X-Aerodynamics, it's a flight modeling company based in New Zealand, and they are well known for their accurate and high quality flight models that they provide for aerospace companies as well as X-Plane, and they've been developing flight models for X-Plane since X-Plane 5. They do it for both the stock aircraft such as the Beechcraft Baron 58, as well as payware aircrafts such as the X-Crafts Embraer aircrafts, and you can find more about their products and flight models on the X-Plane store. And let's now briefly go through the bio of the real-world aircraft. So it's a versatile general aviation aircraft suitable for both the personal and corporate transportation purposes. Fitted with a 500 horsepower Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine, single engine of course. This M500 is a member of the M-class family. So the company Piper calls these models the M350, the M500 and the M600 the M-class family. The M500 was first built in 2000, beginning with a traditional old analog cockpit, and then in the year 2009 the glass cockpit fitted with a G1000 avionics was introduced. If I'm not mistaken, Piper produced about 700 aircrafts from that model, the M500. It's also a pressurized aircraft, which means that it can fly at high altitudes, and it's certified to fly up to flight level 300. Which is really a high altitude for an aircraft with a single engine. The maximum takeoff weight is about 5,000 pounds, which is equivalent to 2,300 kilograms. It's a 6-seater aircraft, including the pilot seat, which means that up to 5 passengers would be able to fly on that aircraft. I think it's also worth mentioning the bugs that were reported on the portal before we continue any further in this review. And the most recent version by the time of recording this video is still version 1 of the aircraft, because yeah, it's still a fresh aircraft that was published 1 month ago. I took the chance to go through all of the reported bugs on the X-Plane forum under the support section for this developer, and most of the bugs that were reported so far are related to the sounds of this aircraft, which are relatively poor. However, I could see that the developer is responding to, I'd say, to every reported bug and feature requests on their forums, which is a good sign, of course. They have promised to publish another update this month, June 2026, but by the time of recording this video, that update hasn't been published yet. Yeah, but I believe that many of the bugs will be fixed very soon in the upcoming release. They have released a quick bug fix which covered VR issues. I fly only in VR, and when I first installed this aircraft, yeah, I found the VR view is completely outside the aircraft, not inside the aircraft. And with the quick fix that they have added, it covered that part and fixed it. And I was really happy with that quick response from them. Anyway, I saw a very positive response from the developer to all of the reported bugs so far, which is a really good sign that this aircraft has a very good future. If I'm not wrong, this is the first aircraft that the developer X-Aerodynamics develops, yeah, from A to Z. Yeah, based on what I could see on their website, yeah, I believe this is their very first aircraft from A to Z. Yeah, let's move on to the next point. And let's now go through the many features and characteristics of this add-on aircraft. So it's for X-Plane 12 only, and the supported operating systems are Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Once again, it's a glass cockpit aircraft fitted with the G1000 avionics and displays, and X-Aerodynamics have done a great work regarding the realism of the display layouts, as well as the advanced autopilot of this aircraft. It's ready for the VFR and IFR flight rules, supporting the various approach procedures such as the ILS and, if I'm not mistaken, the RNAV approaches as well, but I haven't tested that myself. And also the realism for the wear and tear of the different components, and especially the engine, so you could easily damage your engine by overheating it if you set the realism level of this aircraft to, yeah, to the highest level of realism through the EFB. We will go through that in greater detail in few minutes. So this aircraft is also fitted with an advanced and a sophisticated EFB, where you can configure the different settings and configurations of this aircraft, such as the payload, importing sim brief flight plans, checking the weather, etc., etc. We will have a good look at the EFB when we get to that point. And also the persistence system state of the aircraft, which means that if you reload the sim, you will find the settings within the cockpit the same. So if there is a button that was switched on, you will find it again switched on. You can also save and load the state of the aircraft via the EFB. It comes also with various with multiple liveries from different countries. Yeah, real world liveries. You could easily update this aircraft via the Skunkcraft's updater software if you're familiar with that one. So yeah, you don't need to re-download the package again. You could just easily update it via Skunkcraft's updater. Let's now have a look at the exterior of the aircraft. And by the way, I am recording this video from Eindhoven Airport in the Netherlands, and the code for it is Echo Hotel, Echo Hotel. And as you can see here, in my opinion, this aircraft looks a lot like the TBM 900 or TBM 800, but it's a bit smaller, of course, with a less powerful engine compared to the PC12 or the TBM. But yeah, when you look at this long nose here for the turboprop engine, yeah, it looks similar to the TBM and PC12 aircrafts. I'd say, in my opinion, the details of the exterior are moderate, not the best out there, but of course this is just a personal opinion. I believe that many of the parts are animated, such as the engine covers, as you can see here. Yeah, of course the door could be opened. Yeah, it comes with the chocks. There's also a tiny GPU over there. There is still no cable running from the GPU to the aircraft, which is weird. I'm not sure if this is a bug or not. One of the features that were requested are the animated passengers. So no passengers are animated, or the pilot. And the developer has promised to introduce animated passengers or persons on board whenever that's possible. But they are now busy with the fixing the critical bugs, or based on the priorities. Okay. Yes, so let's have a quick look at the exterior of the aircraft. And excuse me if the movement is a bit fast. So it's really good, but I believe other developers would do a better job. Hopefully, in the future, X-Aerodynamics would improve the exterior, the quality. The texture is 2K, but I'm not sure if this is the default one or this is an option. Yeah, let's also have a look from the top here. The details of different components. Yeah, the movement of the horizontal stabilizer, the movement of the rudders, the rudder as well. Ailerons, I guess. Yeah, with the aircraft already powered off. I'm not sure if the real aircraft has these surfaces move like this, while the hydraulics or the engine is not running or not. But I believe, yeah, this is correct. Yeah, I guess so. And the rear of the aircraft. Okay, let's jump into the interior. And here we are inside the cockpit, and yeah, it's really a lovely one with 3 big displays for the G1000. We will get into detail here, but let's first have a look at what's going on back there. Yeah, for the passengers. So yeah, let me position it in the middle here. I guess that's enough. So yeah, we have here 4 seats for 4 different passengers. And the door here is animated. These window shades are also animated, so you can close them or open them. Yeah, but who cares? But it's a nice detail. So let's get back to the here to the pilot seat. It's really a nice cockpit, and I'm really happy with the quality of the textures here. Look at this here. Yeah, the developers really is doing a great job here for the interior, for the cockpit, and I believe that we should care more for the interior quality rather than the outside. But yeah, again, it's just a personal opinion. We have here the big EFB, and we will get into the details of this EFB in a few minutes. But let's first have a look here. Let me turn on the battery for now. There we go, and also the avionics. Yeah, I'm really happy with how these buttons up there are backlit. Yeah, really good quality.
Pause system test.
Yeah, let's activate this display here. So 3 big displays. Yeah, with the synthetic view, it's quite useful for yeah, especially during bad weather, where it can how to say this, animate the outside view. The yoke here with the logo of X-Aerodynamics, and yeah, the turboprop engine with the just a single throttle lever here, as well as condition lever for the fuel. All right. Here you can find the autopilot controls, and here is the keyboard for the avionics for the G1000, which makes it very easy to dial in or type the characters instead of handling or dialing that in using these dials, which it's not a problem with this aircraft, but in general, I'm not really a fan of the G1000, but it's a personal opinion anyway. So yeah, operating these dials is not really, these knobs is not really that easy, especially in VR. Yeah, but the details here are really nice. Okay, let's maybe go a bit down there to see the rudder pedals and their movements. Yeah, left, right. I don't think let me remove the yoke. I don't think the circuit breakers are not all of them are animated, or only a few of them here. These are animated. Yeah, not all of them, just very few of them are animated. It's okay, but maybe the developer will add more animated circuit breakers, so you can maybe simulate the different failures during flight, or anyways, whatever you'd like to do with the circuit breakers. Alright, let's now have a look at the lighting of this aircraft for the interior and the exterior. I've removed the shade through the AFB, but yeah, we will have a look at this later on again. So let's switch the light, actually the exterior light, to the night, for example here. Yeah. And this is how the interior looks like during nights. So it's really well lit. I'm really happy with the backlight of the overhead panel, and you could adjust the dimming from here for everything. Yeah, you can increase, decrease, but it's well lit. It's really cool. The cabin back there is dark. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, how to turn it on here. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Let's have a look at the lights for the outside, for the exterior. So this is where you can turn them on. Yeah, the taxi lights, landing, nav, yeah, the ice, we don't really care about this for now. Stall heat, blah blah blah. Okay. Okay, this is the strobe. Okay, looks really, yeah, really cool. Let's go to the outside. And this is the aircraft from the outside. Yeah, well lit. Yeah, really cool. And from the inside, I need to get a bit closer, but I can see from this opened covers. I believe you can see very well outside as well, with the taxi light turned on and the landing lights. Yeah, it's well animated. Yeah, really good in my opinion. Let's now go through the EFB in detail, because it's a very important component of this add-on. So first things first, you can convert it. Now it's in the portrait mode. You could also convert it to a landscape mode to be in an AVI tab. If you click up there you go. It's an AVI tablet. And it's quite handy. Let's get back here. So the first tab, and I will be zooming in and out a little bit just to focus on the details, which is the home, the home screen of the EFB. What could you do here? This is a sim brief and weather inquiry page. So if you have a SimBrief account, you could put here your pilot ID or SimBrief ID, and then fetch the flight plan that you have created. It won't import the flight route. Actually, you still need on your on the G1000 to import the flight plan. But what will be imported here is the performance information. All right, and let's see here. Let's just click here, and this will help for the performance calculation, but we don't necessarily need to go through this here. And down below here, you could inquire about the weather, so the departure airport for and check. It will fetch the METAR, and my destination is Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Okay, and check the weather also over there. So this is quite handy. Really, it's an impressive add-on. I've never seen this in other add-on aircrafts, and I really like it. Okay, let's switch to the second one here, which is ground. So these are the different ground elements, as you can see, and we can just uncheck these for now. Yeah, I need everything to be closed, everything to be ready for our flight. By the way, we will go for a very quick flight just over this airport, and we will remain in pattern. And that's it. Also de-icing. I think these will call. I'm not sure if these will call the default. I don't think X-Plane has a default de-icing. Does it? I'm not quite sure, but I haven't tested these before or ever. But anyways, it's an available option. Let's head to the one after, which is the payloads. This is a very interesting one where you can set the payload here for the baggage, the weight of each passenger. You could just click and start on your keyboard filling the weight that you like. You could here refill the aircraft. As you can see, I have just set to half the quantity. You could also change the values here, the units from kilograms to pounds from up there. I set it to kilograms because I'm based in in Europe and we don't use pounds here, but it's the option is there. And down below, these values here, these calculations here would help you know if it's overweight or not, whether it's correctly balanced or not. So it will give you a score here, so you can play around with these values and see what suits you. Right? And my performance tests for this aircraft was done based on these values. Okay. The aircraft also comes with the documentation. You will find performance charts as well for the aircrafts. Okay, let's head to the next tab, which is the options. Under the options here, you could mount this EFB here, as you can see in the cockpit. And you could also up here from the menu, you could pop it out if you'd like to quickly make changes to it, or completely hide it from here. You can also hide it, by the way, but I will just leave it as is for now for you to see it. One of the current bugs, hopefully it will be fixed in the future, is that the pop-out of this EFB does not work in VR. So in VR it pops out outside the VR view, and unfortunately neither with the mouse nor with the VR controller you can manage the EFB during flight while having the VR mode enabled. You'll need to switch to the 2D to be able to do this, or just do all of the adjustments before the flight, and you won't need it anyway. I'm not sure if the AviTab works with the VR. I haven't tested this. Maybe we can test it together during the test flights. Okay, the systems. So this is here an overview of the systems of the aircraft. Now let's head to the maintenance. This is very important here. I have left it to this state. I haven't made any changes to it or repairs, I'd say, to let you see what's going on here. So you could refill the oil, change the oil, and do various maintenance tasks here that could be carried out through your EFB, which is quite nice, and this is added to the realism of this add-on. Okay, the checklists. It's a nice one. It could be improved. Hopefully the developer would improve it in the future, but it's a nice checklist. So it's literally a checklist. You can check each point here like this, check mark it. You could move to the next, backwards, the previous one, etc. Different useful normal checklists here. And the last tab is it's just the about, and for me nothing really is that interesting here in this view. Okay, that's it for the EFB. Now you know what to expect, and you could also set here, just a second. You could set the realism, and yeah, the doors. Yeah, let me close these for the engine. Aircraft options, wheel covers. I don't need these. Or actually, let's keep these. And there is also a noise cancellation headset that you can put on during flight to reduce the sounds. But anyways, the aircraft still has sound issues in the sim, and hopefully it will be fixed soon, as promised by the developer. Here is the realism of the user, so you could change it to easy, yeah, standard. I use realistic, which is really really cool, and you can here save the state of the aircraft. Yes, that's it for the EFB. Let's move on to the next point. And concerning the aerodynamics and the flight model, I can say nothing but that it's absolutely fantastic compared to other aircrafts. It's absolutely amazing, and it's an easy aircraft to fly, and the impact of the wind and the weight and balance, the impact of the flaps movement, I'd say it's really realistic. I've never been on this aircraft physically, of course, but the experience I have with the X-Aerodynamics flight models is with the ERJ Embraer aircrafts from X-Crafts, because I fly these ones in the sim very frequently, and I'm really happy with how realistic their flight model. So I can't doubt the quality of the aerodynamics realism here done by X-Aerodynamics. In real life, I take flight lessons on a Cessna 150, but I've never been on an M500 before, so I can't judge or misjudge the accuracy of the aerodynamics. But in short, it's impressive compared to the stock aircrafts from X-Plane, and it's fairly easy aircraft to fly, hand flying and trimming, and it's a nice aircraft for training purposes as well, if you are a beginner with the sim, or it's quite the aerodynamics are quite good. Alright, so let's start the aircraft from the cold and start state to prepare for our short flight for this demo. And I will begin first with turning on the battery up here to the left. I don't believe you can see my mouse cursor, so I will be illustrating. Okay, and I have already set the load and balance and added the fuel. And once you turn on the battery, the main display here will be turned on with the essential information, like the status of the engine and the fuel quantity, etc, etc. Okay, the default information that the G1000 would display. And here to the left, it's starting. It's the standby, the standby instruments, in case you lose your main instruments. And what should be done now? We should now turn on the fuel pumps. You must do this. If you won't start it, it's the engine will run. However, yeah, the fuel will be consumed from one of the tanks. If I'm not mistaken, it's from the right tank. And you need to set this to auto to allow the aircraft to balance the consumption of the fuel across the fuel tanks. Okay, the ignition also should be auto, right? And now also the start mode is distinguished, which means that it's auto, like this. Let's keep it like this, and now we can start the engine. Yeah, one click will open this cover, and let's click another one. Now the propeller should be rotating. Yeah, okay, I will remove the yoke for a second. And one thing that I've forgotten, let's make sure that the bleed air is pulled out, which means that the bleed air is off like this. Okay, now let's introduce fuel by moving the condition lever a little bit to the forward, a little bit like this, not too full, not necessarily too full. And let's just give it a moment. Yes, and now the engine started running. So let's here track the different parameters, and we can reduce the lean the conditioner the condition lever a little bit backwards to reduce the consumption. Okay, great. Nice. Now with that done, we can turn off the ignition. We don't need to set it to auto for now, just, yeah, we don't need it for now. And we can turn on the generator, the alternator also, and now turn on the avionics. We could have turned on the avionics previously because this is a turboprop engine, so it won't be damaged like on the aircrafts with the piston engine. But yeah, it's okay. I thought to postpone it. Okay, great. And let's turn on the lights, the external lights I mean, so the taxi light. We will postpone the landing light for now. Yeah, the nav is on. Strobe for later. We don't need the rest. Okay. I guess that we are good to go. Yeah, let's have our yoke again here. The flaps, let's set it now to 10. Yeah, let's have a look at the flaps lever here. It's set to is 210. Okay, cool. Right. Let's taxi out. Right, so here we are ready to roll. So let's release the parking brakes. And taxi to runway 21, this airport. And during this short flight, I can tell you more about the performance tests that I've done, really regarding the cruise speed and the maximum speed I could get to. I'm not sure if you can clearly hear the engine or not, but again, there is still a problem with the engine sounds and the sounds in general. So inside the cockpit, you could easily hear the ambient sounds. For example, the birds outside, which is not realistic, as if there is a door or a window that is opened, which is not true at all. Okay, let's turn on the landing lights and the strobe, and all right, This should be to auto for now. It's okay, and yeah, I think we are good to go. I'm not sure about the wind direction right now, but I don't care. It's just for yeah, the demo purposes, so I don't bother. Yeah, here's the wind direction. See that wind sock over there? Yeah, it's okay. We're good to take off from this runway 21. Okay, condition lever to max, and you can't set the throttles to max because this will overheat the engine, so it should be a little bit less than the max. Let's go. Oh. And rotates. Yep. Gear up. And then flaps up now, it's okay. Needs some trimming. Yeah, to trim it down a bit to reduce that pitch up. Let's bang to the left. Now it's reaching 130. We can raise the nose a little bit. It's okay. Where's the runway? Yeah. Yeah, the runway is over there. Yeah, we can all bank left. I don't remember if I've no, the bleed air is off, so let me turn it on. Yep, the runway is, the airport is below us. So let me level up a bit and let it accelerate. Needs to be trimmed. Yeah. A bit more. Okay, yeah, it's gaining more speed. It's back to the left. Yeah, now it's getting close to the overspeed range. Can you see this bar here? Yeah, so let's stay below 190. So from experience with this aircraft and the same, around the altitude of 7,000, the maximum speed it could get is, yeah, this average 170 something indicated airspeed IS, with average weight, like 3 passengers. Yeah, in addition to fuel tanks half quantity. We could check here the the exact takeoff weight, of course. So as you can see, it's 180. Let's climb up a bit more before we land. And the maximum altitude I have cruised at is 15,000. Not any higher than 15,000. And at 15,000 the average speed was 170, 172 knots IAS. I'm not sure about the true speed, the true airspeed and the ground speed at that altitude, but yeah. This is not inside. Is it inside? Oh yeah, it was inside. Yeah, the bleed air handle. That's quite a decent aircraft. It just needs that the sound issues to be fixed, and it will be impressive. But other than this, yeah, it's quite a decent one. Yeah, let me turn on the autopilot for a moment. Let's hold this out, this altitude, and yeah, and this heading as well. I should bank to the left. Let's not lose sight of the runway. Okay, so now the altitude is 4,000, and the average speed is 170 and increasing. We can reduce the fuel a little bit. It should reduce here. You can see here the consumption. The fuel flow is getting less, and we should keep the temperature a little bit less, and keep an eye here. Always keep an eye on the oil temperature, because if it rises, the engine will have performance issues, and the aircraft will definitely lose power. Now we are banking. Let's get back to the airport. Yeah, let me hand fly it. Just
Autopilot.
all right. There's the airport. See here on the maps. Yep. All right. Let's cut the power actually and start descending. Speed is 150. I fly only in VR. It's pretty amazing. It has drawbacks, but when I compare it to flying on 2D screens, no way that I'd get back to 2D. You can freely move your head here and there, and yeah. The ignition after takeoff should be turned off. It's okay. Speed is increasing because I'm violently pitching down. Yeah. Okay. I think at this speed we can set flaps 10. Yeah, it's possible. Let's set the condition level to full. More thrusts. Landing gear down. 103. Yeah, the speed shouldn't be less than 120 at this stage. On the downwind. Yeah, it should be 110, 100 and more. It's decreasing, so I'm increasing the power. Now it's flaps 10, yeah. The runway is over there. Oh, we can here. Bank left and set the flaps to 20. Let's make sure that the speed is not less than 100 for now. There's a crosswind. Let's see if I can land it on the center line. Increase the speed a bit to maintain 100 knots. It's okay. And flaps 30. Reduce the speed a little bit. Power cut. Yep. Oh. It has reversers, so we could, yeah, quickly stop the aircraft. Wow. Great. And let's taxi now to the apron. So, we have come to the end of the video and we have covered a lot of information, I guess. I'd appreciate if you consider subscribing to the channel to encourage me doing more content in the future. And thank you so much for viewing, and see you soon. Bye bye.